Un poco. Un poco. Un is an indefinite article and it means usually a, like un perro, a dog, right? Una casa, that's the feminine form. Un is masculine, una is feminine. But when talking about, by the way, una casa means a house. You know this, right? You know this. So when you use this phrase, you're saying a little, okay? Just a little of anything, okay? So let's look at an example and let's see how to use this basic phrase. Tengo un poco de frío. Tengo un poco de frío. Oh, well, I'll tell you something else later. But yeah, tengo un poco de frío. Let's focus on this phrase. Tengo un poco de frío. Do you know what this means? This means, actually, that's not the meaning. I don't know what happened to the meaning. But I feel a bit, or a little, rather, cold. Sorry about that. Tengo un, rather, I feel a little cold, or I'm a little cold. Okay? Okay. So, tengo un poco de frío. I'm a little cold. So, if the weather is a little fresh, it's fresh outside, it's not too cold, you can use this whole sentence to say that you feel or you're a little cold. Okay? Tener is used usually, this verb, tener. Tengo is the conjugated verb, tener. Tener means to have. In Spanish, it's very often to hear tengo frío, tengo calor, tengo hambre. Okay, so you're pretty much saying I have cold. That's the literal translation when you say tengo frío. Okay, frío means cold. Okay, tengo means I have. Okay, and that's very common in Spanish. Tengo frío, I'm cold. Or you can say tengo hambre, I'm hungry. Okay, tengo calor, I'm hot, like temperature wise. Okay, so that's something interesting in Spanish. It's very interesting. In English, it's completely different, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know that. And we're using un poco, which you know what this means. It means a little. Okay, so you're saying I'm cold, a little cold. Tengo un poco de frío. I'm a little cold. And un poco is great. You can use this phrase by itself, un poco. If someone asks you, do you love me? And if you say un poco, a little. I'm just kidding. But it happens, if, some couples are pretty playful and whatnot. They're joking around and whatever. But that can be an answer, un poco. Okay? Do you like the food? Un poco. ¿Te gusta la comida? Un poco. ¿Te gusta tu trabajo? Do you like your job? Un poco. Okay? So un poco, it's a very common phrase that you can use by itself, or you can use it in a whole sentence, like in this case. Tengo un poco de frío. I'm a little cold. And if you see the placement of the phrase, the phrase un poco is in the middle, okay? In the middle, right here. It's not at the end or at the beginning. And that's because when talking about how you feel, if you're cold or if you're hot or if you're hungry, usually you have tengo, and then you can add this phrase in the middle and then the rest. Okay, tengo un poco, for example, you can say tengo un poco de hambre. I'm a little hungry. That's what you're saying right here. I'm a little hungry. You can also say tengo un poco de It's important to use de. Tengo un poco de calor. I'm a little hot, I'm a little warm. And this is important to notice here. De. When you use un poco by itself, you can say just un poco. But when you want to add more to the sentence, to this phrase, then de is commonly used. Okay? Tengo un poco de or un poco de. That phrase is if you want to add more to the sentence. For example, I could change tengo and I can say quiero un poco de comida, for example. Okay? Quiero, obviously we are not adding the, we're not saying the personal pronoun yo. Once again, I sound like a broken record, but once again, you don't need personal pronouns all the time in Spanish. That's a common thing. So get used to it if you're learning Spanish. Quiero un poco de comida. I want, similar to saying I want some food, or a little food. Technically, that's the translation, literal translation. I want a little food or some food. But it's interesting to notice here that you need un poco de if you want to add more to this phrase. This can change, but if you want to add more to the sentence, you need de. If not, you can just use un poco. Okay? Excellent. So that was phrase number 1. Interesting. It's very interesting to know how to use this phrase for sure.